This is QTV Nightly News, and I am Ansumana Esonyasi. Thank you for joining us. And a reminder that you can also join us on Q Radio 103.3 FM. Here are the main news headlines. The Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry convened a stakeholder roundtable on Thursday to address key challenges facing the business sector, focusing on MSMEs constraints and trade barriers between the Gambia and Senegal. The Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, Babukar Usmaila Joof, embarked on site visits to a few small and medium-sized enterprises and manufacturing facilities in the West Coast region on Wednesday. The National Nutrition Agency, with support from UNICEF, held a press conference on Thursday to mark World Breastfeeding Week. And on Thursday, Sidi Kanyi, General Manager of the Gambia Transport Service Company, appeared again before the National Assembly's Special Select Committee investigating the sale of assets connected to former President Yahya Jammeh. And in international news, the 13th High-Level Dialogue on Human Rights, Democracy and Governance concluded recently in Accra, Ghana, and featured insights from former heads of state and government, experts and change makers. Stay tuned as we bring you more on these and other stories. Now here's the news in detail. Now, the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry convened a stakeholder roundtable on Thursday to address key challenges facing the business sector, focusing on MSMEs, constraints and trade barriers between the Gambia and Senegal. The discussion aimed to identify practical solutions to support small businesses and improve cross-border trade. Mamna Buka witnessed the event, and this is her report.
This crucial meeting brought together key stakeholders including government officials, business leaders and trade experts. Gambian businesses, primarily micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, which are essential to the nation's economy, continue to encounter considerable challenges when attempting to access the Senegalese market or transport goods through Senegal to other West African destinations. These obstacles include procedural delays, complex documentation requirements, transit holdups, and informal fees, all of which significantly hinder the growth potential of these enterprises, limiting their ability to access wider markets for their products. While Senegal successfully exports electricity, cement, and other essential goods to the Gambia, and the Gambia acts as a vital transit hub and market for Senegalese products, the full potential of cross-border trade remains untapped as the arrangement is not always reciprocated. This private sector-led dialogue aims to identify practical solutions to these challenges, strengthen private sector collaboration, and enhance bilateral relations to help unlock significant growth opportunities for businesses on both sides of the border. Here is Idrissa Mas Job, the president of the GCCI.
The trade between Gambia and Senegal represents about 3.4% of Senegalese export. If you now add petroleum export that Senegal has just started, the trade between Gambia and Senegal will dwindle to maybe about less than 1%. So whilst it's not that significant for Senegal, it is important for us. 80% of our exports are basically transit. So all our export business passes through Senegal. Basically what we are advocating at the level of GCCI is free, fair trade and the respect of the ECOWAS protocols by both sides.
The meeting also seeks to prepare for the Gambia's national input into the upcoming Senegal-Gambia Presidential Council and the Senegambian Economic Forum, both of which are platforms for the two countries to showcase themselves as attractive destinations for trade and investment. Dr. Cherno Omar Bari, the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Senegalo-Gambia Permanent Secretariat, is hopeful that this initiative will have a significant impact.
We are hoping that there will be progress in this, and eventually there will be success in our efforts to see that, be it economic, socio-cultural, or any form of cooperation, is a reality for Gambia and Senegal. If it fails for Gambia and Senegal, I don't see any form of integration that can succeed in Africa here.
Mariam C. is Senegal's ambassador to the Gambia.
We agree that it would be beneficial to bring together all stakeholders to examine this matter and others with the aim of identifying solutions that are mutually beneficial and respectful of the agreements that bind us. In this spirit, I will be listening attentively and remain open to all proposals.
The GCCI reaffirmed its commitment to facilitating a constructive dialogue that will lead to tangible improvements and strengthen the fruitful cooperation that exists between the two countries. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
Now, as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen the growth and the sustainability of local enterprises, the Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, Babukar Usmaila Juf, embarked on site visits to small and medium-sized enterprises and manufacturing facilities in the West Coast region on Wednesday. Loliam Kamara went with them and filed this report.
It has long been thought that one reason many agricultural projects failed in the past is because once they were launched, there was little or no monitoring of their progress and sustainability. This, though, provides the perfect opportunity for the minister to gain first-hand understanding of the day-to-day operations, challenges faced, and potential areas for government support as part of a broader strategy to promote sustainable industrial development, job creation, and economic resilience. The delegation's first stop was at ASIS Global Business Center in Brikama, Wellingara, a manufacturing hub established in 2024 by Olindau, a young and enterprising Gambian entrepreneur. The center specialized in the production of detergents, perfumes, and vinegar. During the visit, the minister was given a guided tour of the facility, observing the various stages of the production process in creating these essential household products. Madam Olindau, who currently operates her manufacturing activities from her sitting room, shared with the minister the inspiration behind her business venture.
After returning home from my studies, I decided to invest in my country. That's when I set up this business and named it after my mother. I have been working here ever since and have employed staff who are all Gambians.
Madam Dau further explained the circumstances that led her to operate from her home.
We are currently working inside the house because we don't yet have a designated space for this work. Our workspace is under construction within the compound, but it's not ready. Since our customers already know about the product, we couldn't afford to wait for the construction to be completed, so we decided to start working from inside the house.
According to CEO Ndao, despite strong demand and high order volumes, production remains limited due to low capacity, a shortage of packing cartons, and limited access to raw materials. She acknowledged these challenges and stressed the need for strategic investment to overcome them.
We are delighted to welcome the minister today, as this visit is something we have long anticipated. We remain very hopeful because this work demands collaboration. No one can do it alone. I have worked hard to reach this point and to provide employment for Gambian youths with a monthly salary, which has been a significant challenge. These products are made here in the Gambia, and with the right support, we envision a future where we no longer need to import them. To make this a reality, we need the intervention of the government and partners to help us put an end to the importation of these goods.
Minister Juf responded to Madam Dao's comments.
Part of what they are producing is for consumption. As a result, the food safety will be sent there. They will go and help them with the preparation of this vinegar because we consume it. There are certain things that need to be adjusted. But all this is because she's desperate. She has the skills, she has the know-how, she knows how to make money, she has the market, but she doesn't have the infrastructure. So that is where the government can come in to support, and we are going back to look at what we can do as a government to support the infrastructure development.
The Trade Minister proceeded to visit other production centers in the West Coast region. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara.
The National Nutrition Agency, with support from UNICEF, held a press conference on Thursday to mark World Breastfeeding Week. Aissatou Barry attended the event at Nana and Sina reports.
World Breastfeeding Week is observed globally from August 1st to 7th each year to raise awareness about the importance and benefits of breastfeeding. Its primary goal is to support and promote breastfeeding as essential for the health and well-being of both mother and child. In the Gambia, the National Nutrition Agency, NANA, operating under the Office of the Vice President, collaborates with partners like the Ministry of Health and with funding from UNICEF, observes the occasion to highlight the nation's strong commitment to exclusive breastfeeding. Bakari Jallo, Deputy Executive Director of NANA, highlighted the objectives of this year's World Breastfeeding Week.
Inform people about their role in creating supportive and sustainable environments for breastfeeding, to anchor continuous breastfeeding support as a vital component to create a sustainable environment, to engage with individuals and organizations to enhance collaboration and support for breastfeeding, to galvanize action on connecting breastfeeding support systems to create a sustainable environment.
Fatou A. Dabo, Program Manager for Nutrition and School Health at the Ministry of Health, emphasized the vital role breastfeeding plays in babies' health and why it should be a priority for everyone.
Breastfeeding is the foundation of food security, disease prevention, and emotional bonding. It is nature's first vaccine, the first food system, and the first act of love and protection. This year's theme, Prioritize Breastfeeding, Create Sustainable Support System, calls on all of us to go beyond slogans and short-term campaigns and focus on long-lasting, system-wide support that places breastfeeding at the heart of national health and development agendas.
Although breastfeeding is common in the Gambia, exclusive breastfeeding drops after a few months due to limited workplace support. Many women in informal jobs lack paid maternity leave and breastfeeding-friendly spaces. Here is Bakari Jallo, Deputy Executive Director of NANA again.
Every child should be breastfed exclusively for the first 6 months of life, followed by continued breastfeeding with appropriate complementary food for up to 2 years or beyond, regardless of background or status. This has many health benefits, including providing vital nutrients, protecting infants from fatal diseases like pneumonia, reducing food insecurity, and fostering growth and development.
According to the Global Nutrition Report, the Gambia is on course to achieve the global target for exclusive breastfeeding, with 53.6% of infants aged 0 to 5 months exclusively breastfed. According to recent data, this figure aligns with the World Health Organization's global nutrition target, which aims for at least 50% of infants to be exclusively breastfed by 2025. The progress reflects efforts by health authorities and partners, but sustaining it will require continued support, especially in workplaces, health facilities, and communities. Aissatou Barry, QTV News.
And a report there by Aissatou Barry will lead us to the commercial break, but when we return, we have more national and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
Biggest network with the cheapest tariff in the Gambia, and enjoy crystal clear calls and super fast internet at the cheapest tariff only with QCell. Rush now and grab your free QCell SIM card today from any of our care centers near you. QCell, the biggest network with the cheapest tariff. QCell Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow.
fii mooy fan fii mooy Inessa di place bi nga xam ne moom la ñëpp taam place bii bépp xeetu ataaya bu baax rek bu dugg see ci dëkk bi xamal ne fii rek la am bara wërga bii neex na lool saf na ba pare tamit nag am gu bu neex boo ko naanee rek da ngay kontaan ci saasi añ ba suur ba gëreesal li nga lekk jëndal baara ataaya bii ndax moom la ñëpp taam gis nga sama client bii ataaya bu neex bu ne moom laa koy njëkk a jox ndax moom kat ataaya bu neex rek lay wër baara wërga bii mooy wërga bi gën te moo gën a saf kon nag ràññee leen ko bu baax kon daw leen gaaw ca Banjul foofu ca Inasa di place bi nga xam ni foofu rek nga ko mën a amee wholesale wala retail mu ngi foofu ci boori court house bi foofu ca Banjul wala nga daw ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique fépp foo dugg rek di nga mën a am baara warga bii nga xam ne moom la ñëpp di wër tey baara warga moo dàq ci warga yi man maa ngi ci moom ndax su ma maree ataaya moom rek lay naan.
Supersonics Islamic Insurance ñooy jël benn digital insurance provider ci Gambia bu ànda Sharia ñoo leen isil wécceeku technologie yu xarañ ànd ak dal ba seen bunti kër yi amal nañ leen bépp façon yi insurance service boo soxla pour ngeen mun a am xel bu dal ak kaaraange saa yoo ko soxlee su fekkee yaa ngi kër ci yoon wala ci business ak Supersonics Islamic Insurance Limited ñëwal nga bokk ci suñ bànneexi liggéey nga xam fu ñu feetoo oo ñu ci +220 5132 319 5132 318 wala 5132 315 wala nga email ñu info@supersonicsinsurance.com wala book nga seetuñu suñ website bi www.supersonicsinsurance.com wala nga seet si ñu Beka Plaza 56 Liberation Avenue Banjul.
Welcome back and be reminded this is QTV News. Now on Thursday, C.D. Kanyi, General Manager of the Gambia Transport Service Company, appeared again before the National Assembly's Special Select Committee investigating the sale of assets connected to former President Yahya Jammeh. Yafatu Gay tells us more.
Mr. Kanyi confirmed that GTSC evaluated buses formerly owned by former President at the Jammeh Commission's request. He added that the Commission later approached GTSC to consider purchasing the buses. While acknowledging the company's urgent need for buses, he denied any connection to ex-President Jammeh's assets, emphasizing that buying vehicles they had assessed would have been a conflict of interest.
When you were offered, you declined purchasing the buses on the basis that you were involved in the valuation of the buses.
Tacitly, because we made a condition that right to us first. So it was not a decline outright, but that was our condition. But there was no correspondence from the Commission to us, and we said, well, that's the end of it.
Mr. Kanyi stated that he had led GTSC since its establishment in 2013, except for an 18-month period between June 2016 to December 2017, when he was dismissed. During his absence, Habib Drame and later Ramon Cisse served as acting heads until his return in January 2018.
2017, yes. That's when I got the reinstatement letter, yes.
But at that time, it was Mr. Habib Drame who was the holder of the position.
Yes.
And he remained the holder of the position until December of that same year.
Exactly.
The GTSC's managing director clarified that the company never purchased buses from the Commission, nor had any direct dealings with it. He also stated he could not recall a valuation letter dated November 16, 2018, reportedly issued from his office and signed on his behalf by mechanical engineer Usman Juf. He was questioned by the lead counsel how he could be unaware of a document bearing his name while serving as general manager.
That was the very letter that I read about, was shown to me, and I did not remember at that point that I ever saw it or ever directed Mr. Juf and team to work on it. But when I returned to my office, I was able to dig through our records these same copies plus others. And I think I later remember that yes, we were indeed involved, or GTSC was indeed involved in this whole exercise under my authority.
So you indeed confirm that you gave this authority to Mr. Juf?
Very well.
The council asked Mr. Kanyi whether an inventory of the buses existed. In response, he clarified that he had assisted in assessing 70 buses, not 26, as stated in the report.
The numbers developed to something else. My team assessed 70 vehicles in total, most of them buses and few trucks. So it's not actually 26.
In conclusion, when Honorable Sirif Sar questioned him about the depreciation rate and sale percentage of a vehicle initially valued at $4 million, Mr. Kani requested additional time to consult his accountants. He maintained, however, that all of the vehicles assessed by GTSC were fairly valued. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafa Tugay.
And coming up next, we have international news. In international news, the 13th high-level dialogue on human rights, democracy and governance concluded recently in Accra, Ghana, and featured insights from former heads of state and government, experts and changemakers to share perceptions and chart a path forward for the continent. Our Bob has the details.
This is a panel for young people. Can I hear the young people in the hall? Excellent, excellent, excellent. We want to keep this energy level very high because with the people with the life of the continent. We are dealing with those who hold the future of the continent in their hands. We are dealing with the generation that will determine where we move next in terms of how we engage with transitional justice processes.
That was Mahmoud Kamara, Regional Director for Africa and the Middle East for the International Fund for Public Interest Media, speaking at the Youth Pre-Forum held ahead of the 13th African Union High-Level Dialogue, where he underscored the vital role of young people in governance and transitional justice processes. The High-Level Dialogue on Human Rights, Democracy and Governance is a flagship initiative of the African Governance Architecture Platform to foster inclusive dialogue among diverse stakeholders. This year's theme was justice, rights, reparations and state building. The forum was marked by a strong emphasis on the call for reparations as a cornerstone of justice and accountability. The dialogue aimed to assess, identify structural and normative enablers of democratic governance in Africa under the theme Justice, Rights, Reparations and State Building. It is one of African Union's mechanisms to build stronger and more resilient democracies across the continent. Speaking at the main event, President John Dramani Mahama called on the African Union member states to ensure that the reparative justice mandate is effectively executed.
This year's dialogue, convened under the theme Justice, Rights, Reparations and State Building, reaffirms our shared commitment to confronting the structural challenges that continue to shape Africa's condition. It reflects our collective will to advance democracy, uphold human rights, strengthen governance, and ensure peace and security for the people of our continent.
He emphasized the importance of establishing legally enforceable frameworks to protect civic space across the continent. He also called on African leaders to uphold a form of democracy that goes beyond constitutional provisions, one that is shaped by and responsive to the life realities and aspirations of their citizens. Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, the African Union Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, emphasized that reparations should not be seen in isolation but as an integral part of justice and realization of collective rights.
A unique opportunity to bring all Africans and people of African descent together to reflect, to reconnect, to reimagine, to renew, to rethink our shared commitment to Africa's future. It is therefore a great honor for the African Union.
The African Union Commission's Political Affairs, Peace and Security Department is spearheading continental efforts to identify normative and structural enablers that promote democratic governance across Africa. For QTV News, I am Our Bob.
And we still stay with our colleague Our Bob as he reports again that a global effort spanning over 40 years to eradicate polio, a highly contagious viral disease that mainly affects young children, has encountered a troubling setback. Outbreaks of a rare vaccine-derived strain have emerged in several countries, reigniting concerns over the future of global eradication efforts.
After decades of progress, the dream of a polio-free world is under threat. Health authorities are raising the alarm as outbreaks of a rare, mutated form of the virus, known as vaccine-derived poliovirus, resurface in several countries, particularly in areas with low immunization rates. Since 2021, several hundred such cases have been reported annually, and at least 98 have already been confirmed this year. Most of these are not from the wild poliovirus, which remains endemic only in Pakistan and Afghanistan, but from the vaccine-derived strain. In both countries, fragile health systems, insecurity, and distrust continue to hamper eradication efforts. Critics also blame what they describe as a rigid strategy and over-reliance on the oral vaccine. Although it has helped immunize over 3 billion children and prevented an estimated 20 million cases of paralysis globally, the strategy now appears to need urgent revision. Declared polio-free in 2004, the Gambia has long been recognized by the World Health Organization for its robust efforts to eliminate the polio virus. However, in August 2021, the country faced a serious setback when type 2 poliovirus was detected in environmental sewage samples from Banjul and Kotu. This led to the declaration of a public health emergency and the launch of a nationwide mass vaccination campaign targeting children under 5. Last year, environmental surveillance carried out in February 2024 at Talinding Darussalam, Kotu, and Banjul raised renewed concerns when samples sent to Dakar tested positive for poliovirus in Banjul. Genetic sequencing revealed that the strain was 99.9% identical to one circulating in Guinea-Conakry. In response, the Gambia's Ministry of Health launched another round of mass sensitization and vaccination campaigns to curb the spread and protect vulnerable populations. As the world edges closer to the goal of eradication, the resurgence of vaccine-derived strains serves as a sobering reminder. Progress can be fragile, and without vigilance, it can quickly unravel. For QTV News, I am our Bob.
And I'm afraid that's all about it for this bulletin, but do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.